All right, so I'm looking at Party Song on page 43 here. Oh, what do they say? They say learn measures 5 and 6 first. Hey, what a unique idea. This is something, if you've been following these videos, you might have noticed, I don't just start the song from the beginning. I look through it first, and I try to identify things that I might want to know. So a lot of young students, they just want to go right for it. And, you know, they've been playing for years, so I can kind of look at a piece and analyze it a certain way and be like, oh, that's going to be a problem. We should work on that first, right? So it's not their fault if they're younger students, they're not quite working that way yet, but it is something we want to start considering in our piano playing. So even if I play a really, complex piece, I'm looking for the hardest parts first, and I usually work those first. And then I'll kind of work backwards to the easy parts. That way I'm making sure the hard parts are getting as much work as they need, and that I didn't spend a bunch of time learning the easy parts. Then when I get to the hard parts, it's like, oh no, now I got to spend all this time figuring this out. It's a weird work process to get used to work out of order. But once you start getting used to it, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense. So I'm gonna follow their advice. They say, have fun with the left-hand crossover to A flat. Wow, there's a lot of stuff going on in here. Okay, we better look this over. Well, let's figure out position first. And then it says learn measures 5 and 6. So let's look at measure 1, just to get our position down. So we have 5 on something, that would be an F. Then that means 3 is going on A. So we're kind of in like a middle C position. Then what, right hand 1's going on C. Yep, it's a middle C position. Okay. Measure, the first line doesn't look too bad, but then they're saying measures 5 and 6, we should have some alarm bells going on. So what's going on here? I don't think we're breaking position other than moving this left hand to catch this A flat up here. Then we're gonna move it right back. Yeah, 5 on F. We're gonna move it back to where it used to be. So that's the only shenanigans I think is really measure 6 going into 7. But I probably practice 5, 6, and 7 as like one thing first. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna play measures 5, 6, and 7 first, so we can get a look at that. Setting up in this middle C position. And then if that makes sense, I'll try the whole thing. So here's start measure 5. Oh, I'll do that whole second line, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. I've seen worse things, but that could be a little tricky. So that A flat, if this is A, there's A flat. So if we're in the C position, they don't really want us to try to reach up with pinky, so they're saying just come over and catch that with 2 there. I think that's pretty much it as far as like things we gotta look out for. Oh, mezzo forte to start off, forte once we get to measure 9. That's pretty standard stuff there. Get a little more intense near the end of the song. But I'll stop talking. I'm gonna set up and let's just hear what this sounds like. 1, 2, 3, rest. Move. Rest. Couple little twists and turns in there. Compared to some of the other ones, maybe not quite as bad. One thing to look out for, make sure we keep that whole note at the very end held out the whole time when we play those half notes. It's really tempting to lift the left hand. And who knows, if you look at some of the videos I've done already, I might have made that mistake on one of these old ones, but we don't want to do that. So try to be picky there. What does it say at the bottom? Challenge section. You and your teacher may explore new 5-finger scales that use sharps and flats on page 62. Okay, so that's something that's coming near the end of the book. We're not going to worry about that too much. So that's it for Party Song. Let's move on.